Okay, in this video we're going to flip this over. Hopefully you can hear me clear enough. I'm going to flip this over and I'll put one of our straps at the bottom of it. We're going to be using a company that sponsored me a couple times a long time back for some bolts. We're going to use some Bolt Depot bolts on this one. This has a larger hole in it, the diameter. So this is a pipe that was through there and I just fitted in there. That's why we got a lot of deflection yesterday. We're already getting some spalling off the top though, which is what I wanted to go for. So I'll get rid of this one and I'll re-anchor it. It's going to be insignificant. It's going to be insignificant. I'm going to put a strap on the bottom. Alright, so this is going to be simple. I'm just going to flip this over. Well, that's not as simple as it looks. It's about 300 pounds.
You need a man to help you?
Yeah, I'll take a man to help me.
Hey, Donnie.
Donnie left. We got Franz on the other side of this. So we'll get a man to help us. He identifies as a man. He's really a woman. Shit. Come on, man, it's on the video. That's on the video. You're making embarrassing me. You took away all my manhood. Alright. So this is a simple little bracket technique that I showed you guys earlier. Now don't break that one. That's a staple. You want to break something, huh?
How about that one?
Not that one. All this is my good stuff. All this is my good stuff. We'll break them little rocks into smaller rocks. We're back to that different, you see the different stones that are hitting also here. There, where I go through the stones, you'll see the different color patterns.
Eyewear.
No eyewear needed, no lung protection. This is a non-OSHA proof site. You sound like some of the viewers, they say the same thing. I inhale this stuff for the sport. It's very warm. It's very interesting. You pick it up. It's warm. Wonder why. Yeah. Of course I know why, right? Friction, baby. Friction. Alright, let's go from there.
Like a 2.5 inch long.
So now we do just using the anchors. 2.5 what?
It's staple. It's just the groove holding it in.
Be careful on this part. Oh, great. Yeah, that worked real nice. Look how nice it dropped in there. Looks like I grabbed the wrong bit. Good news is no harm, no foul. I better just move that over and grab a different bit. Okay. So we're going to start with this gap again. And we're going to, I'm worried about bursting this out. I don't want to do that. So let's go over to a little bit, but okay, let's get a close up now. Let's get a close up. All right. So now let's blow that out. Powerpuff Girls. blow it out. Hope it's the same size anchor. We'll find out in just a moment. Again, this is shout out to the Bolt Depot. You can get these delivered. Now, notice the gap. We're going to pull that in, as you recall. Let's see how this flips over it for me. Now, this will close up. When this closes up, this is going to put more tension on here. Not my intent. I'd rather it be flat. We'll see the results of that, if it tries to snap it or not. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's too much tension on it. It's too much tension on it. Let me show you. See, there's too much tension on the bottom, and too much opening there. So I got to get this. I'll loosen this up, let that flatten out more. Okay, it's not the greatest, but still got a gap on it. But I think I can flip it over without it fracturing and coming apart. Okay, so now we have our tension part. So when I put this on top of there, the loads will be on the reinforcement. With any luck, we might see it spall off the reinforcement. So here's an image that will appear later in the video, but I wanted to show you that spalling. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a shot. Okay, let's make sure we're on it a little bit. Looks like we're on. Let's lower it down. Okay, make sure you guys are in the image there. And you are. And let's see if we get lucky. It would be that end, I think. If it's going to do something. I think it's going to be more this end. The other one's got too much reinforcement. Okay, now let's lower it down. Remember, we have our bracing here, so this should close up to some degree. I'm gonna let it down real slow. Okay. So now our loads are on the heads and the reinforcement that's on the heads. But take note of the one to the right. It's got more of a span, if you will, than the one to the left. It's got a tighter, the steel is closer, is less of extension than the one to the left, and so it presents as more flat. So it presents as more flat because this gap is closer than this gap. But we want to see, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit, or do that. See the fracture developing? There's your fracture developing. And that's that reverse zipper I talk about. Right there. Let's see if I can do a little better than that. Right here. And that's there upon that steel. There's a fracture there. This one is not going to really work that well because it's got cross reinforcement in it. Let me change the lighting. Get back to where I was, 6.3. Let's see. No. Change the shutter speed. Let me get back in here. So I think when we load it, I think we'll see that this might rotate towards me. I don't want to damage my camera, but we should be able to see it fracture. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm going to load it in the center. I guess I got to zoom out a bit. Hopefully you'll be able to see them both at the same time. Let's do that. Oddly enough, I think I can almost load it with my body weight. Fracture's developing. I wanted to show you that this could work first, but you'll see these ears turn up and drag down this column, and this fracture is going to develop. Oh yeah, she's creeping out on her own. Hold on. Without too much of my effort, the fracture developing all on its own. And on the side profile, you can see it developing on its own. I think we're going to lose this piece of steel. That's probably about the depth I drilled in. But let's go ahead and I'm going to slowly put the pressure on it without starting the machine up. I'll get the focus right for you. And let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. So, as you can see, I didn't do that but mistakenly. If the deck went down sideways, let me go out, let me zoom out for a second. If it went down sideways, you see the way our ears are? Let's see, I get our ears on this side. I don't want this to fall on me either. But you see the ears, how they're staggered in height? And that's going that direction, right? Now, that means we have still the pulling on this side equally to get that to rotate over. If you can see, once I pull this over, one ear will be onto the outside. That means the rotation was here. And this ear is on the outside. So the rotation would throw one ear on the outside and one ear on the inside. The problem is we don't have that. We have both ears directly in line. Roach ears, right? There's a spalling. There's our ears. Well, let's go ahead and push this out. I can push this with my foot. Now you see where they Now you see where they align? Both of them would rotate and off in that direction. Let's get you a better view this way. That's if the failure happened in that rotation to the outer wall first, and then drop down. And as you see, as the deck pulls from the other side, it would have left you with these parallel bars this way. This is why the steel matters. Why you see me evaluating steel so much. Don't get confused with the tripod. Champlain Tower Collapse, why column numbers are part of the smoking gun, that video. Look at the, right here. You have one of the roach antennas on the inside of the butterfly. And then the other one on the outside, on the column. Aha, looks just like our failure, doesn't it? On this side, as it progressed, the collapse progressed downwards, pulling, it just pulled these down drapes, and both antennas are in the air, so it shows you it was on this side. So our rotation was back here in this area here where the mouse is. That would be our rotation, our falling, our initiating point that dipped first, as I showed you in the in part of this video. So this is our indicator of the rotation of the deck first, and then the puncturing continuing. There's the rest of it down there. That gets us on this side of the column, that piece of steel. This piece of steel, as the deck comes to a stop, this piece of steel stays here, but of course the drape is pulling. It disengages from the concrete here, unzipping this side. And on this side, you see both of the antennas sticking up on the face of the column, which tells you how it fell just straight on that side. So rotation back here, straight up here. Now, could you get it straight on this side, falling first, and then as it came here, it wobbled and turned? I don't have that. I have it just as you saw in the video, where we get the rotation first. We have initiating point. I said it would be your initiating point. The initiating point is back here on these columns, rotating outwards here. Could be over there too. I couldn't see the steel over there, but I can see the steel here. So use your extrapolation, and from the video I just put up, and you see that you get your initiating point down here, which points us back towards the garage area, butterflying down the center. And there's our rotation, 1 up, 2 up. Why it matters. This is symmetrical with this side. It is also, interesting enough, out of plane. This one took the load first. It bent more inbound, degrees-wise, than this one. Same thing. This is now stuck here on this one, so this presents that way, but it's still leaning against this column here. This column moved. Little bias. All right, but you saw that we fixed the center span, but we still had a column head issue. And this is why, in the next video, I'll show you my brackets. Why brackets matter. Why you can put a bracket here. Well, I'll do a bracket like this. And then we'll put steel across it. And then I would even propose that you grout to make the deflection difference up. Grout between your steel and all. And that way your column head, you don't care about whether it's steel. Oh, it did spoil off. Look at that. Didn't even know it. Okay. Good, so it's off. It's spalled off, yeah. It's spalled off. And this tells us the story of how the deck rotated or went straight down. As you saw, the drape went straight down. As you also see, we like to find the initiating bending bars that started this whole drape thing going on. This whole drape action. Somewhere about, is it there? Well, I don't know where it is anymore. So we'll do a niche thing. We don't need that. Alright, so hopefully this was, again, another helpful video. And now we'll go to the next video. Will be clamp the reinforcement with the defective bars. With the defective bars. As you can see, you can bend these back with them easily with my foot. And so don't get confused by the mangled equipment by the excavator. This is nothing, look. Especially it's fulcrum, you know, my leverage action. Look, that's the underside of my foot. I'm not that strong. It's just that fulcrum is a pinky. It's not what you think it is. This stuff really does bend, okay? The rebar is not what you think it is. Alright. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. Let's go for it. Wow, that could be a motto. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. Loading this video up for you.